Hello students and welcome back to the video lecture series of web programming. Today's topic is Introduction to PHP. I am your instructor Ms. Shruti Rawal. So before jumping on what is PHP, the first thing that we need to clearly understand is PHP is a server-side scripting language. We have already learned JavaScript, which was a client-side scripting language. So let us see the major difference between client-side scripting language and server-side scripting languages. So the first difference is client-side scripting language is used when the user's browser already has all the code. It means all the code is visible to the client. You can view the source code, and in source code you can see what is the client-side scripting that has been written. Whereas if you are using any server-side scripting language, may it be ASP, may it be PHP, you are using this for creating dynamic web pages, and this is not visible to the client, right? So you cannot see the code that the client that the developer has written. The next difference is, obviously, because it is client-side scripting language, the interpreter exists in your client, and client is nothing but a web browser. So the web browser executes the client-side scripting code, whereas in web server, as the name suggests, you need a server to execute the server-side scripting. So till now, when you were running the JavaScript code, we needed only one software, and that was a web browser. But now if you are running a PHP code along with the browser, you will need a web server, right? So that server can be any server. Most popular server, I have already told you, they are Apache, IIS, right? So in PHP, along with PHP, normally we use Apache server. So basically the server-side scripting language needs a server to execute the server-side scripting. The next difference is client-side scripting language cannot connect to the databases that exist on web server, whereas server-side scripting language basically are used to connect databases that reside on the web server. Now this is the major difference or major use of server-side scripting, because we know that ultimately client-side scripting language does the thing, server-side scripting language does all the thing that client-side scripting language does. So client-side scripting language can be considered as a subset of server-side scripting language. But there are certain things that server-side scripting language is able to do and client-side scripting language is not able to do, and the popular thing that client-side is not able to do is database access on the web server. You have number of data to insert in your web application. You cannot insert this all of the data in your local database that is present on your client. You need a powerful web server to insert the data, so you need the powerful database, right? So this is provided by a web server, and basically server-side scripting language's main functionality is to connect to the database that resides on the web server. The next difference is you cannot access the file system that resides on the web server, right? So the networking related applications in which you need to access the files which is residing on the web server, that you cannot do using client-side scripting. Contrast to that, you can access the file system that is residing on the web server using server-side languages. Also, the last difference in this category is that response from the client-side scripting is much faster as compared to server-side scripting. Obviously, because client-side scripting language is basically rendered in the client browser itself, so it is not doing any HTTP request and response structure. It is not going all over the network in the routing protocols, right? So it is only being interpreted in your web browser and showing you the result. So obviously the loading is faster, whereas in server-side scripting language you will have all this HTTP request and response structure involved. So the loading of your web page is slower as compared to client-side scripting. Okay. So this was the major difference between client-side scripting and server-side scripting. Now the servers, there are many server side scripting languages present, right? Popular are PHP and ASP. We are going to learn PHP. Now what is the full form of PHP? Now PHP is basically recursive acronym. What do you mean by recursive acronym? Recursive acronym, all the recursive acronym means that the first letter of the short form, that is if I am writing PHP, the first letter indicates the short form itself. That is PHP full form is PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. Clear? So what is the full form of PHP? P stands for PHP, H stands for hypertext, P stands for preprocessor. What is PHP? PHP is basically a server-side scripting language that is embedded in HTML. So this will be again good for your understanding, because we have already learned a client-side scripting language JavaScript, which was again embedded in HTML. Similar to that, you have the server-side scripting language in which you are embedding the code inside the HTML. What it is used for? It is used for managing all the dynamic contents. If you want to access the database residing on the web server, if you want session tracking or session related applications, or even if you want to build a whole full-fledged e-commerce website, PHP can be used, right? It can be integrated with number of popular databases including MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Sybase, Informix and Microsoft SQL Server. But the most popular database used along with PHP is MySQL. So we will be learning, when we will be learning PHP with database, we will be learning MySQL database, right? So this was the introduction about PHP. Now let us see what are advantages if we use PHP over other server-side scripting languages, right? So the major advantage of PHP is that it is an open source. Anybody can use it. You don't have to pay anything, right? So there is a whole community who is working towards PHP and it is freely available. So that is the basic advantage why people use PHP. The next advantage is it supports wide range of databases. So in the previous slide, we have already seen what are the different types of database which can be integrated with PHP, right? So there are different types of database which can be integrated, and that is also one of the advantage why people use PHP. The next advantage is, compared to other server-side scripting language like ASP, it has a quick load time, right? So there is a marginal difference in load time, but yes, it has a quicker load time compared to other scripting languages. So that is also one of the advantage to use PHP. The next and the major advantage of PHP is it is very easy to learn and it is user friendly. If you are aware about JavaScript syntax, mostly you will be able to learn PHP syntax. It is very similar. Obviously, if you are not aware about client-side scripting and if you are aware about basic C language syntax, then also you can learn this PHP, because it is again a scripting language similar to basic C language. So portability is also one of the major advantage of PHP. If you write a web page in PHP, you will be able to run it in different operating system, in different browsers, right? So it is very portable. And the last advantage of PHP, as I told you, it has a full support for community who is developing certain add-ons in PHP, right? So if you want to extend the features of PHP, there are a number of people who are working towards the add-ons. So there is a full community support for PHP. If you have any query about the syntax or how things work in PHP, this community will be very helpful. So these are the basic advantages of using PHP over other scripting languages. Now let us quickly learn how does this PHP work, or working of PHP. Now for example, you have written a web page, right? Now you know that whenever you run this web page using, if you have written this web page using PHP, then client will basically request this web page. Okay, so for example, I want to request facebook.com. So this Facebook, we know that Facebook is written in PHP, right? So if I want to request this web page, the client will request or fire the URL. This request will go to server. We know the structure of this request. The request will be in the form of HTTP, right? So the basic communication protocol in any client server communication is HTTP. So we will send the request, it will go to the server. Now this server will basically identify, does this file contain PHP code, yes or no, right? So if it contains the PHP code, it means we need to render the PHP code. We mean server needs to render the PHP code, and dynamically it has to make the decision and execute the code. So after making the decision what the code is, it will execute the code, it will dynamically generate the content, and based on the content it will send back an HTML web page. Now the second option is it does not contain the PHP code, then it will directly only contain the HTML page. Then also at last, what will be the output that will be given to the client browser? That will be the HTML output which will be returned to the browser, right? So the output, that is the HTTP response, will be returned to the client browser, but after dynamically interpreting the PHP code and executing it and accordingly displaying the things on your HTML web page. So at last the client is able to view the HTML page. He or she will not be able to view what PHP source you have written, that is source code you have written. It will only, he or she only will be able to view the execution of that code, right? So you will be able to view the Facebook login page which was dynamically created or executed in the server. So this is how the working of PHP takes place. Now we have got a basic idea of what PHP is, what are the advantages of PHP, what is the working of PHP, and what is the difference of this PHP server-side scripting language from the client-side scripting language that we have learned, JavaScript, but we don't know that how to run a PHP file. So if you want to run a PHP file, you have to set up PHP on your computer. For setuping this PHP, there are basic three things that are required. The first is, because this is a server-side scripting language, you will require a web server, right? So first you have to install a web server. This web server can be Apache, IIS, etc. Most probably PHP is compatible with Apache, so Apache is recommended to be installed. The second thing you have to install is PHP, right? You have to install the PHP from the community. It is an open source. You can go to the site which I have mentioned over here and you can install the PHP. The third thing, if you are just using the core PHP and you don't have any database access, you can skip the third point. But normally we use server-side scripting language for database access, so you will be required to install a database such as MySQL, right? So there are three things to be installed. The first is web server, the second is PHP itself, and the third is database. Now this website that I have mentioned over here basically is having all the installation instructions for installing the PHP. So you can go through that website and install this. Also, if you don't want these three things individually to be installed in your computer, you have a software, you have many software actually available which provides you an environment in which all these three has comes to you in a package. That is, you have LAMP, WAMP, XAMPP and MAMP. Now these are basically the available software which provides you an environment in which they already have Apache installed, PHP and the database MySQL, right? So WAMP, if I take, W stands for the operating system, that is Windows, A stands for Apache server, M stands for MySQL and P stands for PHP. So instead of installing these three different things on your Windows PC, if you install WAMP, it will provide you an integrated environment in which you can run the PHP code It also provides you the Apache server and MySQL database so that you can also access the database and run it using this Apache web server. Similarly, LAMP is for Linux, XAMPP is for cross-platform, X for cross-platform, right? So you can use any of this integrated software also which provides you directly the environment for running PHP. I in my PC have installed WAMP. So in the next lecture when we will see the PHP syntax and run one program, I'll be teaching you how to run a PHP file in WAMP, right? If you are installing LAMP or XAMPP, similar procedure can be followed. You can go through the installation instructions and the running instructions you can go through on the web, right? So this was all about the basics of PHP, and this was all about today's lecture. Thank you.